In a strategic move reflecting the shifting landscape of international relations, Vietnam is set to host leaders from China and the European Union in the coming weeks. This meeting comes amid heightened concerns regarding potential U.S. tariffs, which have been a lingering threat to global trade dynamics. As countries reassess their alliances and economic strategies, Vietnam's role appears to be increasingly pivotal, positioning itself as a neutral ground for dialogue between major powers. The timing of this summit could not be more critical. With the U.S. administration considering new tariffs that could disrupt trade flows, both China and the EU view this meeting as an opportunity to strengthen their economic ties and collaboratively address the challenges posed by U.S. trade policies. According to sources familiar with the matter, the agenda will likely focus on enhancing bilateral trade relations and exploring new areas of cooperation amidst a backdrop of geopolitical uncertainty. The implications of this summit are profound. As trade tensions rise, nations are being forced to recalibrate their economic policies and partnerships. Vietnam, with its rapidly growing economy and strategic location, is emerging as a key player in this new world order. By hosting this high-stakes meeting, Vietnam not only reinforces its diplomatic stature but also opens avenues for investment and collaboration that could benefit its economy significantly. In another significant development within China, President Xi Jinping has executed an abrupt reshuffling of two senior Politburo members. This unexpected move has raised eyebrows and speculation regarding internal party dynamics and Xi's consolidation of power. Political analysts suggest that such changes may reflect Xi's efforts to maintain control amidst growing dissent and challenges within the Communist Party. Leadership transitions within the Politburo often signal shifts in policy direction or strategy, noted a political analyst from Beijing. The ramifications of these changes could impact China's domestic policies and its approach to international relations, particularly as the nation navigates its relationship with the West. As tensions escalate over Taiwan's independence, global leaders are closely watching the unfolding dynamics between the U.S. and China. Reports indicate that President Trump and Xi are sizing each other up, with the potential for conflict looming large. The situation is compounded by the ongoing trade disputes and military posturing in the region, which have heightened fears of a miscalculation that could lead to conflict. Amidst these developments, cultural narratives are also taking shape. NPR's Emily Fong has released a new book titled Let Only Red Flowers Bloom, which delves into the complexities of Chinese identity under Xi's regime. Through personal stories and political analysis, Fong explores what it means to be Chinese in an era marked by strict government control and the suppression of dissent. Her experiences, particularly being barred from returning to China, underscore the personal stakes involved in the broader political landscape. Identity politics in China today is a matter of survival for many, Fong remarked during a recent interview, highlighting the profound impact of state policies on individual lives. As these events unfold, the global political landscape remains precarious. With Vietnam emerging as a diplomatic hub and significant shifts within the Chinese leadership, the coming weeks will be crucial in determining the trajectory of international relations in the region. Stakeholders from various sectors will undoubtedly be watching closely as the interplay of commerce, politics, and identity continues to shape the future of global interactions. In a surprising and unprecedented move, Chinese President Xi Jinping has reshuffled two senior members of the Politburo, a decision that has sent ripples through the already dynamic political landscape of China. This shift, which involves Li Ganjie and Shi Taifeng, marks a significant departure from long-standing political norms and is perceived as an effort by Xi to consolidate power and fortify his control ahead of the crucial 2027 Party Congress. The unexpected swapping of roles, reported by the South China Morning Post, places 60-year-old Li Ganjie at the helm of the United Front Work Department while Shi Taifeng takes over the Organization Department. These departments are pivotal in shaping internal promotions and orchestrating external influence, making their leadership roles vital to the Communist Party's operations. Analysts suggest that this move aligns with Xi's broader strategy to eliminate potential rivals and reinforce his grip on the party. Xi Jinping, who has been in power since 2012, continues to navigate a landscape fraught with both domestic and international challenges. Despite his decade-long anti-corruption campaign, which he claims is essential for safeguarding the Communist Party, Xi has recently reiterated that corruption remains the biggest threat to its integrity. This warning extends even to close allies, creating a pervasive atmosphere of caution within the party ranks. Such dynamics not only stifle dissent but may also impede timely decision-making, especially as China grapples with economic uncertainties and shifting geopolitical tides. The implications of this reshuffle extend beyond immediate party politics. Some observers interpret it as a demonstration of Xi's strength, while others view it as a response to internal resistance. The reshuffle's timing, just a few years before the pivotal 2027 Party Congress, suggests a calculated maneuver to maintain dominance in an evolving political environment. Li Ganjie's new role is particularly noteworthy. He is recognized as a technocrat with a background in environmental policy and nuclear safety, making him the youngest member of the Politburo. His appointment to a key influence position may signal a shift in how the party approaches issues that blend governance with public concerns such as environmental sustainability. Xi's leadership has been characterized by a centralization of authority that prioritizes political control over economic reform, raising questions about the future of innovation and sustainable growth in China. The lack of checks and balances within the political system has led to growing apprehension about governance and the potential for internal instability. As the Chinese Communist Party prepares for the 2027 Congress, the ramifications of this recent leadership change will be closely scrutinized. Will Xi's strategic realignment bolster stability within the party, or will it exacerbate underlying tensions? The answers to these questions will shape not only the future of the Communist Party but also China's position on the global stage, particularly as it faces mounting economic and geopolitical challenges. As political analysts continue to dissect the implications of this unprecedented move, one thing remains clear: the landscape of Chinese politics is in a state of flux, with Xi Jinping at the center of it all. In a world of shifting trade dynamics and economic policies, China is making significant moves to stabilize its foreign investment landscape amidst escalating tensions with the United States. Amidst these geopolitical intricacies, recent developments reveal both the challenges and opportunities facing China as it attempts to reassure international investors. China's leadership has launched a concerted effort to attract foreign capital, notably through high-profile appearances at major international forums like the China Development Forum and the BOA Forum for Asia. President Xi Jinping's engagement with representatives from the international business community signals a strategic shift aimed at revitalizing foreign direct investment (FDI). This initiative comes on the heels of a concerning decline in FDI, which plummeted by 27.1% last year to approximately 826.25 billion yuan, around $113.74 billion. Early indicators for this year suggest a continuation of this downward trend, with a further 20.4% drop in the first 2 months. The backdrop of these efforts is China's recent transition away from its stringent zero-COVID policies, which had previously stifled economic activity and foreign investment. As the government focuses on economic recovery, it has become increasingly clear that revitalizing the economy hinges on the participation of private enterprises and foreign investment. However, despite the government's attempts to boost confidence, such as the recent release of detained employees from a U.S.-based due diligence firm, skepticism remains prevalent among economists. The geopolitical risks associated with heightened U.S. China tensions and uncertainties regarding policy stability have tempered investor enthusiasm. This skepticism echoes the insights of Ian Williams in his new book, Vampire State: The Rise and Fall of the Chinese Economy. Williams critiques the foundation of China's economic growth, arguing that the Chinese Communist Party's CCP has historically prioritized its grip on power over genuine economic reform. He contends that the party's control mechanisms are increasingly stifling the economy, likening the situation to a vampire draining the lifeblood from its host. The author posits that the extensive state control over enterprises and the centralization of decision-making have exacerbated issues such as the property market crisis and rising youth unemployment. Williams' analysis not only highlights the domestic economic strife but also sheds light on China's global economic strategy. He argues that as domestic challenges mount, China has resorted to exporting its economic issues, utilizing its state-owned banks to expand influence through infrastructure lending across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. However, the approach is fraught with risks as China's no-strings-attached lending often leads to tighter control over debtor nations, further complicating its international relationships. The interplay between domestic economic reform and international investment is pivotal as China navigates this complex landscape. As President Xi's administration continues its charm offensive, the effectiveness of these measures remains uncertain. The question looms: can China overcome the dual challenges of internal stagnation and external skepticism, or is it trapped in a cycle of economic decline? As the situation evolves, observers will be closely watching how China balances its efforts to stimulate growth and reassure investors while managing the geopolitical realities that threaten its economic ambitions. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether China's latest strategies can yield the desired results or if they will further entrench its economic woes. In a dramatic escalation of military tensions in East Asia, China has embarked on a series of military exercises encircling Taiwan, entering its second day as of April 2, 2025. These drills are being portrayed by Beijing as a stern warning to Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te, who has recently denounced China as a foreign hostile force and proposed a suite of measures aimed at bolstering Taiwan's defenses against perceived Chinese aggression. Analysts suggest that these maneuvers are not only intended to intimidate Taiwan but also to convey a message to the United States amid rising geopolitical tensions in the region. The ongoing exercises involve a significant deployment of Chinese military assets around Taiwan, including an aircraft carrier battle group and multiple warships and aircraft conducting operations in the air and maritime zones surrounding the island. The People's Liberation Army (PLA) has stated that these drills are focused on testing its ability to control and isolate Taiwan, with Senior Colonel Shuri emphasizing their aim of conducting long-range strikes on simulated targets of key ports and energy facilities in the East China Sea. The timing of the exercises is particularly noteworthy, coming just weeks after President Lai's March 13 speech outlining a 17-point strategy to counteract Chinese influence and espionage. This strategy includes restoring military tribunals for cases related to espionage and tightening immigration rules for Chinese nationals seeking residency in Taiwan. Such measures have drawn sharp rebukes from Beijing, with officials labeling Lai as a separatist and independence activist whose actions threaten the region's stability. The PLA has responded with both military maneuvers and a coordinated propaganda campaign that includes derogatory depictions of Lai in state-run media. In a broader context, these military exercises serve as a critical barometer of U.S. China relations. The PLA's show of force coincides with U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's recent trip to Japan, where he underscored the importance of strengthening military ties between the U.S. and its allies in the region to counteract Chinese assertiveness. Hegseth's comments reflected a commitment to maintaining a robust deterrent posture in the Indo-Pacific, particularly regarding Taiwan, which the U.S. considers a matter of grave concern under its defense obligations. Despite the heightened military activity, experts point out that China's leaders appear to be exercising caution. While the drills are designed to send a clear message to both Taiwan and the U.S., they also seek to avoid provoking a larger confrontation. Beijing's leaders are acutely aware of the delicate balance they must maintain, especially in light of ongoing trade tensions with the Trump administration, which recently imposed tariffs on Chinese goods. The military exercises have also drawn international attention, with Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense reporting extensive Chinese military activity, including 76 sorties by military aircraft within a 24-hour period. Taiwan's government has condemned these provocations, asserting that they threaten not only peace in the Taiwan Strait but also regional security. As tensions continue to simmer, the implications of the PLA's maneuvers could be profound. Some analysts view these drills as a precursor to a potential blockade of Taiwan aimed at undermining its sovereignty and pressuring the population into accepting deeper ties with Beijing. However, recent opinion polls indicate that a significant majority of the Taiwanese public remains opposed to any form of unification with China. Looking ahead, experts suggest that as long as the geopolitical landscape remains fraught with tension, similar military exercises may become more routine, with potential escalations on significant anniversaries such as Taiwan's National Day in October. For Taiwan, each exercise presents both a challenge and an opportunity, as military leaders can analyze Chinese tactics to better prepare for any future confrontations. In summary, the current military exercises by China around Taiwan not only reflect ongoing tensions between the two sides but also highlight the broader implications for international relations, particularly regarding U.S. involvement in Asia. As both nations navigate this complex landscape, the potential for miscalculation remains a significant concern, underscoring the importance of dialogue and diplomacy in averting conflict. As the world continues to grapple with complex geopolitical dynamics, the recent diplomatic overtures between China and India signify a potential thaw in relations between these two Asian giants. On April 2, 2025, during a call marking the 75th anniversary of diplomatic ties, Chinese President Xi Jinping urged India to collaborate more closely, invoking the metaphor of a dragon-elephant tango. This phrase resonates with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's earlier remarks in March, where he described the relationship as a pas de deux and emphasized the importance of mutual success. The exchange of pleasantries between Xi and Indian President Draupadi Murmu reflects a notable shift from previous years characterized by heightened tensions and border disputes. The backdrop to this diplomatic dance is the military standoff that began in 2020, which saw both nations engage in confrontations in the eastern Ladakh region. However, 5 months after Xi and Modi's significant meeting, which aimed to de-escalate these tensions, there appears to be a renewed willingness to engage constructively. In his message, Xi called for both nations to approach their relationship with a long-term perspective, emphasizing the need for peaceful coexistence and mutual trust. He remarked that a cooperative relationship would serve the fundamental interests of both countries and their peoples. Modi echoed this sentiment, highlighting that progress in India-China relations would contribute to global stability and foster a multipolar world. The two leaders' communications occurred against the backdrop of uncertainty surrounding U.S. foreign policy under the Trump administration, which has often been seen as erratic and unpredictable. As the U.S. reorients its priorities, Xi's upcoming visit to 3 Southeast Asian nations, Vietnam, Malaysia and Cambodia, later this month underscores China's intent to position itself as a reliable partner in the region. This trip is expected to capitalize on regional apprehensions about U.S. engagement while reinforcing China's influence. Southeast Asia, particularly nations like Vietnam and Malaysia, currently experiences a burgeoning economic relationship with the U.S., which has raised concerns over potential tariff impositions under the Trump administration. Xi's visit is likely to underscore China's commitment to these countries, juxtaposing its stability against the backdrop of U.S. unpredictability. As the Chinese government steps in to fill the void left by U.S. aid cuts, particularly in Cambodia, the strategic implications of Xi's Southeast Asia tour cannot be understated. In a parallel development, India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri emphasized the need for mutual respect, mutual sensitivity and mutual interests as foundational principles for rebuilding ties. His attendance at a reception hosted by the Chinese ambassador signaled a thawing in diplomatic relations, contrasting starkly with the tensions of previous years. While both countries acknowledge lingering disputes, particularly related to territorial boundaries, there is a concerted effort to focus on practical cooperation. This includes plans to revive the Mansarovar Yatra pilgrimage and advancements in direct air services, showcasing a willingness to move forward despite historical grievances. As China and India navigate their complex relationship, the future will likely hinge on their ability to manage differences while fostering cooperation in areas of mutual benefit.
The ongoing dialogues and Xi's anticipated diplomatic missions may pave the way for a more stable and productive partnership, one that could reshape regional dynamics and contribute to a more balanced global order.
The coming months will be critical in determining whether this newfound warmth will translate into sustained engagement or if underlying tensions will once again surface.